photographs and the things about like where are we going to send him to go to school, like all the stuff. I still have that, so I still don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe it's time to throw it out, maybe it's time to burn it, I don't know. Recycle, I suppose, would be the proper. Yeah.
How are your parents when you went to high school and more protective about you or about you like writing or what?
Yeah, my parents, I think, well, you can imagine, right? My parents had this horrible thing happen to their son and they had no idea what was going on, so of course then they're looking for everything to be wrong. Like, I couldn't be left alone in the house for a while, or, if they went away for a weekend or something, they'd have to have some friend of theirs come stay at the house. And, yeah, sort of. That was, over time they lightened up and they realized, like, I'm an adult, and I think that, in a way, I think the book itself was a healing thing for everybody in my family. I think it kind of gave everybody a chance to kind of look at things fresh again and see, like, oh, that did happen, but yeah, we're okay. We're still a family and we still love each other. And then, although it's a huge moment in our lives, we all lived through it. And even though my brother and I are not like super close, he lives in Oregon. He's got a family. We talk maybe once or twice a year, and we see each other at weddings and funerals. But we still have the best relationship that we've ever had. So, like, in terms of, like, we're not the best friends, but better than it is in the book. So these are some long answers. This is a long form answer. Question is, but what other questions do you guys have? Yeah.
Who's Christina? Like, how did you meet her? And
So when I moved to Woods Hole, which is on Cape Cod, she was working there as a public radio producer, doing like documentaries, but on the radio. And I wanted to get into that field, so that's why I was trying so hard to get on the radio. And I met her, and she and I worked on the book together, and fell in love, and we got married 2 years ago, and we just bought a house, and we're moving in this weekend.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so it's great.
I would clap, but I'm holding this thing.
I'll tell you what the house for. Trying to get her to come with me, and she was like, I got other. But so yeah, you had a question.
Rob, when you started talking to people and what really happened to you, was there anybody that made you said anything like
When I actually told people about setting myself on fire, I had like thoroughly vetted them for friendship, and it was like, you're at this level of friendship, and now I'm going to sort of bring you into the inner sphere of friendship. So it wasn't like they were going to go like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. That's rough. Those are rough, but I think most of my friends that I had at the beginning of the book were not my friends when I went back to high school. I think it's about right. I think I did burn away about 85% of my friends. I think that's about right. And there were some that were really my friends. I mean, it's a cliche, but it's true. You find out who your friends are.
Have you noticed pain from when you first went through this 20 years, difference in the perception of depression and public attitude or people's attitudes?
Yeah, the difference between the perception of depression from when I was a 14-year-old and depressed and suicidal and now is it's night and day. There's no comparison. I mean, there was no talk about depression. There was no discussion of suicide. Suicide is still a taboo subject. People get really freaked out when I talk about suicide. And a very touchy subject. It should be, but now there were obviously no TV commercials. They didn't have any of the meds that they have now that make it so easy to treat depression. If my life had happened 20 years later, I'm sure it would be a totally different story. I mean, people I think would recognize the signs of depression. I was moody all the time. I was, sleeping too much. I was you know, not enjoying anything. Like I think, you know, even like the moodiest 14-year-olds will enjoy something. Like if you don't enjoy anything and you've got a couple of these other symptoms, maybe you've got suicidal thoughts, like those are all signs of depression. So you actually go through a checklist and say, okay, got that. You got 4 out of 7? Yeah, you're depressed. Okay. Go on to the next thing, right? So it's such an easy thing to treat, but there is a stigma about it, and there is a feeling that people don't want to say, I need help, because there's a feeling of they don't want to seem weak. Or they don't want to Actually, I think asking for help is probably one of the strongest things you can do. So, long form letters. Oh, you guys want to see the show at top? Yeah. So, these are the skin grafts that they did. They're describing in the book that they sent it through the mesh machine, and they spread out the skin so it covers more of my body. So you can see these kind of little holes. You ever see that? That's where they spread it out. So, like this part of my arm has got the heavy gauge mesh on it, but my hands have like tiny little holes on it. So it's much more flexible. So this is like, it's pretty stiff, and it's almost like a suit of clothes that doesn't quite fit. It's like kind of tight, and you can see it's like stretch, and it's almost like a guitar string at some points when I stretch in certain ways. And this actually runs all the way down across here and down this way. So if I have to get something off a shelf, I have to really bend in exactly the right way to be able to get it so that my skin doesn't restrict the way that I move. But that's basically it, and that's sort of all over my back and shoulders and arms, and because that was my pose when I pulled myself up. I kind of did the potato bug thing. And yeah, I had, as far as like the scars on my face, people were asking about this earlier in other sessions, and they said they didn't really see them. Which is funny because I see them. I don't really see them, but I'm aware of them. But I had a number of plastic surgeries, so like the scars that I'm describing in the book, like that are like thick and heavy, they were like raised off my cheek like that, and kind of in a weird peninsula shape, and they sort of took out a chunk and then sewed it back together, so that was like a thinner scar.
So like where the thick skin you were talking about and like your stomach too, did they fix it?
Oh yeah. Okay. This is the skin that they grew in Boston. And I'm not like that flexible, so I'll come around. Everyone looks.
Oh, God.
So